Hey guys, welcome back to the Glam Corner. So today I'm going to be doing my drugstore makeup routine for you guys because I know that it's really hard sometimes to get the look that we see on YouTube with like all the expensive products like Makeup Forever primers and Marc Jacobs foundations and things like that. But I want you guys to know that you can still achieve that look using drugstore products. So every single thing that I'm using today is drugstore, from my brushes to my foundations to my eyeshadows. Everything is from the drugstore or an affordable website. So I'm going to be doing my very first talk through today. I'm really excited. So if you're interested in seeing how I do my drugstore makeup routine, just keep on watching. We are going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my skin with the Maybelline Baby Skin. Now this is probably my favorite drugstore primer. It's a silicone based primer that doesn't leave the skin oily or anything like that, but provides that good base for you. I like to put mine in my T-zone just because that's where I get the most oily. Everywhere else I'm pretty dry. So, but I do still put like a little bit like on my cheeks just to kind of make sure that, you know, my skin has a base. The next thing I like to do is prime my lids for eyeshadow. I'm using the NYX Concealer Light. This is a really good eyeshadow base, especially for women of color. We need some type of base on our eyes to help the color. So you want to just put this all over your lid area and just kind of blend it out with your finger. Tap it out, and so we don't have like any creasing from the concealer. I always like to set it with a powder, and I am going to be using the Airspun powder, and it's at Walmart for like $4 or $5, so can't beat that. Switching it up. So today I'm going to be mixing two of my favorite drugstore foundations, which are the L'Oreal Infallable Pro Matte Foundation and the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. Both of these foundations are amazing separate, but to me they work even better together. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Infallable foundation on the back of my hand and mix a little bit of the Pro Mattes. I have oily skin, so I try to use a lot more matte foundations than dewy, because I feel like when I use dewy foundations that it's super easy for me to start to look greasy and not dewy, and that's not cute. So after I mix it on the back of my hand like this, I just kind of like dot it on my face. Sometimes I color correct, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on the time that I have in my day. Today, honestly, I just didn't feel like it. I was going to use my Real Technique sponge, but I also love to use this BH Cosmetics large stippling brush. It creates a really beautiful finish to me for foundation, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to spray it with my NYX setting spray, just to help dampen the brush a little bit and help spread the product over my face. I like to take a damp sponge. This is the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, and I like to pat into my skin just to help remove all that excess product and make sure that we don't have anything just sitting on top of the skin. So I just go all around my face just to help get rid of all that excess product and press all the product that I do need into my skin. After that, I will go in with concealer. Today I'm going to use the Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin foundation in the shade Deep. This is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. To me, it's pretty comparable to the NARS concealer, which is a really lightweight coverage, and it's not a lightweight coverage, it's lightweight, but it's a really good coverage, and I feel like this does that for me. So I like to do it in a triangle formation. I take it all the way down my nose to like the bottom of my nose and up to the side. Take that same Real Technique sponge and just begin to tap that concealer out. Normally, like I said, I use my beauty blender, but this is a really good dupe for that. And then I don't like to contour my nose because I'm still really scared to do that. So what I do is I take the concealer all the way up to the corner of my nose right here, and that helps to give you the illusion of a thinner nose. And when you're doing this, blending out your concealer, you don't want to rub and wipe. What you want to do is you want to literally press into the skin. So like I said, I'm going to use my Airspun powder again to set all those highlighted areas. Normally I like to bake, but today I'm not really feeling that so much because I don't really need to bake. I normally only do that in the summertime when my skin is super oily. Right now it's starting to dry out a little bit. So I'm just going to take that same sponge. Well, actually I lied. I'm going to take a different sponge and I'm going to pick up a little bit of the product and just press that into the skin. I'm going to take the darkest shade, which is this one right here. As you can see, I've hit pan. And we're going to use that to contour. Normally I don't contour when I'm just doing an everyday look, but I wanted to show you guys that you can contour with a drugstore product. And I'm going to be using this angled brush by BH Cosmetics, which came in a set, which is perfect to get into the crevices of your cheeks and help to, you know, carve that out. To go from the top of your ear down. So you don't literally take the brush and go from the top of your ear, but you're just kind of measuring like, okay, so it starts here and then you just kind of want to trace, and you can feel when you press the brush in, you can feel that that's where the indent of your cheekbone is. So I just kind of take it up and just make that line like that. And what you want to do when you're blending your contour is blend up. So I do kind of like to feather that up a little bit when I'm making my initial line. I'm going to take a clean Real Technique sponge and just begin to kind of blend out that contour. To take my Airspun powder again and that same Real Technique sponge, and we are going to place it right up under where we just placed our contour. Now what this does is it just cleans up that line that we just made. And it's going to help our contour pop. So normally I bake it, but like I said, today I'm not really in the baking mood, so I'm just gonna press that into the skin, and it still creates that sharp contour. Stuff, I'm going to set my face with powder. I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder in the shade N8 Cappuccino. And I'm going to be taking an e.l.f. powder brush, which is one of the best brushes that I own, and it was $3 from Target. So shout out to that. So I'm just going to take that and press that powder into the skin just to help set all of those liquid powders, liquid products and everything that we use, and so my face doesn't melt off. I'm going to set my contour with the CoverGirl Queen Bronzer in the shade Ebony Bronze. Love it. It's the perfect bronzer for us women of color, and it's from the drugstore, so make sure you find it. So I'm gonna take my Morphe 320 brush. It's just kind of like a tapered brush that can kind of fit into those places when I just kind of want to bronze up and not really, you know, chisel it out. So I'm just going to dip my brush in there, and really lightly, I'm literally holding the end of the brush and just kind of feather around the perimeter of our face. Wet n Wild blush in the shade Blusher, which is a really pretty, literally a rosy pink shade. And I'm going to take an e.l.f. blush brush, which again is kind of tapered. It's a little bit more flat than normal. And this blush is super duper pigmented, so you don't want to swirl your brush in there. I just kind of tap it in there like that and dust it off, and just kind of put a little bit just to give you that. So for highlight, I have two highlighters that I'm going to mix, and they're my favorite drugstore and affordable highlighters. The first one that I'm going to use is Wisp by Colourpop. This highlighter is it's either $6 or $8 or something like that. I'll leave the link down below. And it's a really pretty golden highlight. I'm gonna take that with my finger. If you don't know, Colourpop products are used best with your finger. So I'm gonna take that on my finger and go just kind of dab it. An e.l.f. stippling brush is really small, and it's really good for blending out. So I'm gonna take that and just blend out my e.l.f. small tapered brush and dip that into, this is in the shade Enchanted as well. And so I'm going to dampen my brush. It's going to intensify that highlight even more, and just go on top. And I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Neutral Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette. Again, a very beautiful palette and super inexpensive. Look at all these beautiful warm shades. So to start, I'm going to take a really neutral skin tone shade, which to me is this one right here, and a fluffy blending brush. This one is from Sonia Cash. Kind of just dip my brush in there, just kind of swirl it around, and you're going to start from the outside and just kind of feather that product in just to create that transition shade. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper brown, which is this one right here. Same brush, and just go in there just to deepen that area up a little bit. Use the 120 color palette, and this is the 5th edition. It has beautiful colors in it. This brown shade right here, and just use a Morphe M411 like tapered blending brush. It's really beautiful. I love Morphe. I think this brush was like $3. So I'm just gonna dip that in there, and we're gonna even further define our outer V area. I'm going to take this light brown shade, which is like right under the shade that we use, this one right here, and a BH Cosmetics sort of kind of flat brush, and just pack that color onto my lid. Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadow in the shade Birthday Girl. Now this shade was limited edition, but if you get your hands on Wisp, it's pretty similar to that. So like I said, their stuff is used best with your finger, so I'm just gonna dip my finger into that product and just kind of tap it on. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Ulta brand Legendary Lengthening Mascara. It comes in like a red tube. This is honestly one of my favorite mascaras, and I didn't think I would like it, and I love it. I use it every day. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Silk Seam eyeliner in black. It looks like this. This eyeliner is amazing. It's super creamy and super dark, and it's like does the job basically. So I'm going to line my waterline and just take that all the way up into the inner corner of my eye, and then to create the illusion that I have on like eyeliner on my lid, I just take it in kind of tight line and just go all the way up until like right where my lashes start. So now that we are done with le face, I'm going to take a Colourpop lip liner in the color BFF3. I'm going to take the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade, I think it's Cans. I can't really see. I got a green dot on it from work, but I think it's Cans. I will have it in the description box, like the for sure name. Super easy. Then I'm going to mix these two NYX lip glosses. One is a little bit more pink and one is a little bit more nude, and I'm going to do the pink one first. I got these in like a holiday set like 2 years ago, so they don't have like names or anything on them. And then I'm going to take that NYX Matte Finishing Spray and spray my face.